It's time to work the buttonholes along the left front edge. And before working the buttonholes, I find it really helpful to use safety pins to sequester off the stitches that are going to actually be parts of buttonholes. So I'll be using 3 stitches for each buttonhole, and I have 5 buttonholes planned along this edge. You need to know that you have to have at least 2 stitches between the final buttonhole and the center front marker, and at least 1 stitch between the lowest buttonhole and the lower edge marker. To work a tight 1-row buttonhole, you're going to begin with the yarn in the front of the work, and you slip 1 purlwise, take the yarn back, slip a 2nd stitch purlwise, and bind off 1. Yarn forward, slip 1, bind it off. Yarn back, slip 1, and bind it off. Alright, so now you've bound off 3 stitches. If you're working a 5-stitch buttonhole, you would go forward and back 1 more time and bind off 2 more stitches. Alright, but I need a 3-stitch opening. At this point, you return the final stitch on the right needle to the left needle and work a cable cast on. Okay, so I have 3 stitches that in my opening, so I need to cast on 4 stitches with the cable cast on. Now if you had a 5-stitch opening, you would cast on 6 stitches with your cable cast on. Alright, so there's 4 stitches cast on with the cable cast on. Then you return the final stitch cast on to the right needle and you bind it off. Okay, things are a little tight at this point, so you need to be careful to only slip 1 stitch off at the end. Alright, now yarn forward and slip 1, yarn back, slip 1, yarn forward, slip 1. So you've slipped 3 stitches. That completes the buttonhole opening, and then you continue across the row in established pattern. Now, while the buttonhole opening has 3 stitches, it actually involves 5 stitches to make it. This is why you need to have the spaces at the beginning and the end of the front between the markers and the increase on the top to allow for that extra stitch. And the last thing you need to do before continuing, take your button and make sure it actually will go through your buttonhole. Alright, and it does.